My beloved child, this is not a coincidence. This is not random. And this is not something you were meant to hear today. Emergency from heaven. Archangel Michael is speaking your name right now. But after 3 minutes, this message will disappear forever. Yes, you heard that correctly. Right now in the unseen realm, Archangel Michael is speaking your name with authority. Not softly, not casually, but with the sound of divine urgency. And the reason is something you were never told. Something that has been kept from you. Something was quietly taking shape while you were busy. There are times in history when heaven comes between earth and heaven. Now is one of those times. You didn't click on this by accident. The timing is right on. It's like the spiritual clock is set. What's about to be told will also explain why you've been restless, why you can't sleep, and why some people around you have changed how they act all of a sudden. Archangel Michael is the warrior of divine truth and stands guard over it. When he says a name, it means that protection is being turned on. It means that you will be seen. It means that something that is hidden can't stay hidden. Also, your name has just been heard in the spiritual world. Pay close attention. There has been a quiet fight over the environment, on top of your house, over the place where you sleep, over the energy that's all around you every day. You might have felt it, but you couldn't say what it was. A heavy feeling, very sudden tension, a strange space between people who used to feel close when they talked. This isn't making things up. It's clear that something has changed, says Archangel Michael. Something that was hidden is shaking because light is coming. There is a truth about your living space that is about to come to light. You have been ignoring small signs for weeks or even months. When no one touched it, the door shut. A conversation that stopped when you walked in. A message that was erased before you could read it. The feeling that someone close to you isn't being honest with you. You didn't care about it. You told yourself you were thinking too much. But heaven doesn't think too much. And if Archangel Michael calls your name quickly, it means that the shield is rising and the sword of truth is being raised. You are currently surrounded by a woman whose actions do not match up with what she shows to the public. This woman could be in your home or very close to it. Her words might be nice. Her smile might make you feel good. On the inside, though, something is not quite right. This is not meant to scare you. This is to get you ready. Because being exposed does not mean being destroyed. It means being protected. There is an emergency here. There had been an unnoticed effect on the energy in your home. It has tried to make things confusing. It has tried to create a subtle rift. It tried to make your peace less strong. Heaven stopped it though. Archangel Michael is putting divine protection around the edges of your home right now, at the front door, behind the glass, through the talks that take place when you're not there. The walls that heard whispers are about to see the truth. Now comes the part that might shock you. You were picked to see this happen before everyone else does. Not every person gets a message. Some people find out the truth after it's too late. But you, because your spirit has stayed sensitive, you are getting early warning. Even though there are other things going on, you still listen when heaven calls. Within a short time, you will see an abrupt exposure. It could come through a clear message. It might happen when you confess. A slip up in the truth could be the way. But remember this moment when it does happen. Don't forget that Archangel Michael called your name first. There has been spiritual interference that is trying to stop you from moving forward. Every time you were about to move forward, a small thing stopped you. Every time you thought things were going well, a small problem popped up. That pattern is going to end. The emergency from heaven is not a reason to get scared. It has to do with timing. When you spend 3 minutes in the spiritual world, things can change. It stands for a window, a short break where fate changes course. That window is open at the moment. If you don't pay attention to this message, you might miss the chance to emotionally get ready. It's not because heaven punishes, but because timing is important. God's timing is perfect. When the trumpet sounds, people who are awake move in different ways than people who are asleep. It's not a whisper. Archangel Michael, get ready. Pay attention and stay calm. The truth is coming together. Don't confront anyone yet. Don't accuse and don't react emotionally. The revelation will happen on its own. You don't need to force the door open. It's already unlocking. This message will not stay with you forever. There will be things that try to pull you away. Apps will try to make you think this is funny. Your mind will try to downplay what your spirit already knows. But you know it deep down. You think something is moving in your house. You felt like something wasn't finished. You've seen energy that doesn't quite fit with words. The power of Archangel Michael over lying. And lying shakes when he calls your name. Take a deep breath right now. Feel the peace coming back. It's not about being scared. It's about how God rearranges things. Heaven doesn't send problems that can't be fixed. Protection has been sent out. There is a plan for exposure. The peace is coming back and your family is about to get rid of a lot of hidden stress. Pay close attention over the next few days. Take note of small things. Pay attention to how the tone changes. Pay attention to what comes up on its own so you won't freak out when it happens. You will remember that heaven loved you enough to warn you. You'll remember that Archangel Michael watched over them. You'll see that what seemed like a threat was actually the start of your breakthrough. The timepiece is moving. The name has been said and the emergency from heaven has already started. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission grows into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. But more than your support, we want your presence. When you head to our community through the link in the description or the pinned comment, you aren't just visiting a site. You are entering a community of like-minded believers. This is a sanctuary where you can post your prayer requests, lift up the burdens of others, and engage in daily discussions with a family that speaks the language of faith. Whether you are joining one of our membership tiers for deeper study, sowing a seed of faith, or simply joining our daily morning prayers, you are helping us build a global altar of worship. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through a community that stands together. Each gift you give acts as living water for those in our community seeking healing and hope. Give and it will be given to you is the promise that sustains our shared mission. I invite you now to step out of the shadows and into this circle of prayer. Come with purpose. Join the conversation and plant your seed in fertile ground. Let's open the heavens together. Release your seed today. Join our community and see what God brings back into your life. Chosen one. Something changed again in the unseen realm as soon as you decided to keep listening. The sense of urgency did not go away. It got stronger because heaven gives you more clarity when you lean in instead of walking away. Michael the Archangel is still talking. The first wave was an alert. This wave is a message. The message was as important as an emergency for a reason. A crisis is not a time for chaos. They are about aligning right away. Heaven can give time to fix things gently when they are a little out of whack. But when your peace, your future, and the foundation of your home are all threatened at the same time, divine authority steps in quickly. You've been too calm about something that needed you to be more alert. Your kind heart made you feel calm. You're easy to trust. You think good things about people. But the enemy tried to use what you call kindness as a way in. That is now being fixed by Archangel Michael. There have been small changes made to your environment over the past season. There were small changes in mood, misunderstandings, and seeds of doubt planted at key times. They weren't loud or dramatic. You may have noticed that some conversations make you feel a little worn out, a little confused, or a little like you need to ask yourself some questions. That's not a coincidence. When Archangel Michael calls your name, it means that confusion will no longer be able to stay in your space. The fog is going away and shapes are easy to see. When the fog lifts, you need to pay attention to a pattern. Take a look at who gets upset when the truth is spoken. Watch how the tone of voice changes when accountability comes up. Pay attention to who wants to keep things secret instead of being clear. You're not being told to judge. You are being told to figure things out. The woman who is linked to this message is not acting with good intentions. She might not even know how bad what she's doing is. When people don't deal with their insecurity, it can turn into quiet sabotage. Jolly can hide behind support. Sometimes there are times when fear hides behind control. And Archangel Michael didn't let hidden tension build up around someone who was being helped to rise. You'll be going up soon. That's why interference showed up. Interference can only stop movement. Being still doesn't get in the way of anyone else. The fact that resistance showed up near your house is proof that progress is almost here. But pay close attention. Emotional discipline is needed over the next few days. Do not confront because you think they are bad. Do not let anger get in the way of having good sense. When you stay calm, divine exposure works best. When the truth comes out naturally, it can't be argued with. You might find evidence in ways you didn't expect, a story that doesn't make sense, a small thing that doesn't fit. A sudden confession that was passed off as normal conversation. Do not get shocked when it happens. Say to yourself, I was ready. Archangel Michael wants you to respond with strength, not emotion. You also need to understand something else. This isn't just about safety. It has to do with cleaning. Your home is about to go through a time of cleaning. Not cleaning the body, but balancing the energy and spirit. Things that don't belong will feel bad. What isn't honest will feel like it's being seen. Force will be put on things that aren't loyal. That pressure is light from God. Do not keep this message to yourself if it strikes a chord with your spirit or if you feel a soft confirmation inside. Send this message to someone who has been feeling the same way. This warning will be sent to people who need it by the algorithm. If you like this video, write about how you've been feeling lately. Your voice is important. Sign up now to be a part of this growing movement towards spiritual awareness. Keep your attention on the next thing that comes up. It will tell you why this woman came into your space in the first place. There are no accidents. There are assignments in some connections. Some are lessons. Some are like mirrors. Some are just short-term tests. It's important to know which is which. Archangel Michael is telling us that this connection had a reason for being, but that reason is running out. Not everyone who is supposed to teach you is supposed to stay with you. The attachment comes loose when the lesson is over. You might want to protect the relationship because of how you feel. You might want to give them more chances. But when heaven says the time is right, delays only make things worse. You are being moved around. It's about to get lighter in your house. Things are about to become clear in conversations. Your sleep will soon feel better. But first, the layer that is hidden has to fall off. Keep an eye out. Don't worry. Don't move around because the emergency wasn't meant to scare you. It was meant to wake you up. What you are hearing now, faithful soul, is not just information. Yes, it is activation. The air around you has already started to react to the statement that was made. It's not a sign when Archangel Michael says your name. It makes sense. There is something in your environment that has been working while you have been away. That idea was just shown to be false. You feel intense about the situation because it has to do with your foundation. There's more to your home than just walls and furniture. It stands for rest, safety, and sense of self. When a small disturbance tries to get into that space, it's not just an inconvenience. It's a deliberate distraction meant to make you feel less stable before your next climb. However, heaven doesn't let elevation be harmed. This woman's presence in your life has more to it than meets the eye. She was allowed to be close to you for a while because she had a reflection you needed to see. Not to copy or be afraid, but to understand that God sometimes puts certain people in our lives so we can see patterns we should never repeat. You are watching more than you thought. But the time to observe is coming to an end. The time of year for exposure has arrived. Michael the Archangel is not showing any feelings. He is following the law. When lying goes too far and threatens fate, someone can step in and help in the spiritual world. People have been given permission to do that in your home. In small ways, you may start to notice that the tension is rising. The woman who got this message might be feeling uneasy and not know why. She might try to get control. She might talk too much. She might try to improve how people see her. It's not an attack. These happen when light hits them. There is no fight between light and darkness. It just makes it clear. And this is what makes it strong. You're not being told to fight. It's being asked of you to stand still and be aware. Your lack of words right now has more weight than any argument could. When the truth comes out on its own, it's stronger than any accusation. Another thing you need to be careful with is your heart. Be careful not to let your disappointment turn into anger. The exposure isn't meant to make you stronger. It's meant to help you be smarter. You had faith in me because I was honest. That's not being weak. That is clean. But you need to be wise along with being pure. The Archangel Michael is not taking away your kindness. He is making you more aware. Soon there will be a moment that will reveal something. Other people might think it's not important, but you will know it's true. A sentence that was said too quickly, a contradiction that was found by accident, a private truth that got out by accident. In that moment, don't give in to the urge to act right away. Instead, keep quiet and wait for the truth to come out. There will be a change inside you. It will feel like clarity takes the place of confusion. The way a puzzle piece fits together. Yes, that is proof. Fear never came up with the emergency from heaven. It was about getting ready. Right now, the preparations are becoming real. This has another level that needs to be understood. The interference around your house wasn't just a sign of trouble in your relationship. It had to do with delay. Putting off your progress. Hold on to your peace. Your next chance will be delayed. When emotional energy is unstable, it's hard to concentrate. And progress slows down. When attention is split, its delays are being fixed. As a guardian of change, Archangel Michael stands at the edge of your environment. Things that don't fit with your future can't come into your next season. And things that can't cross must change or leave. When this happens, you might feel a lot of different things. Happiness and sadness, both confirmation and surprise. That makes sense. But keep this in mind. Being exposed is kind. It's better to see clearly now than to find out the hard way later. The clock that was talked about earlier is a metaphor for God's perfect timing. There was a small window that opened so you could calm down before the reveal. You are no longer walking without seeing. You are ready to walk again. Take a deep breath. Feel your spirit getting stronger again. You're not really losing anything. You are becoming clearer. You're getting more protection. You are getting more aligned. Now that this revelation has really hit you, you need to act with faith. Fill out "Divine protection surrounds my home" in the comments if this message backs up what you've been feeling. The blessing code 444 is now being sent to your home. And listen to this last statement as this phase comes to a close. The heaven that brings peace back is the same heaven that showed what it was up to. Your next chapter will be watched over by the same Archangel Michael who called your name. Keep your spirit steady because what's happening now goes beyond just exposing things and into the realm of changing them. Not only is the air around your house being cleared, it is also being rebalanced. Archangel Michael doesn't just take away what isn't right when he steps into a situation. He makes what's left stronger. You might have already noticed a small change. Strange calm where there was stress before. A quiet sense of confidence growing inside you. That's not denying it. That's what reinforcement is. As soon as heaven called your name, help started coming. Pay close attention to this. Making people aware is just the beginning. The second one is realignment. The woman who was linked to this message was part of a short-term alignment. Temporary alignments feel like they will last as long as they do. They make us form habits, routines, and emotional expectations. But when their assignment is over, things get worse. That rubbing is not a punishment. It's a sign from God. This is the time of year when your home should show your destiny. Not your past, not your mistakes, not your fears. It's your fate. And fate calls for stability. Archangel Michael is telling you that soon your surroundings will show how much you've grown inside. If you have grown spiritually, the place where you live should reflect that. If you have learned to discern, your relationship should reflect that. If you are getting ready to go up, your home can't have any hidden distortions. In your space, there has been a spiritual tug of war over power. Atmosphere is determined by influence. Momentum is controlled by the atmosphere, and momentum determines what shows up. This emergency had to happen right away because of the chain reaction. But here is the strong truth. The game of tug-of-war is over. The next time you talk to this woman, things will be different. Not always more loud. Not always going to be confrontational, but not the same. The mask will slowly come off. There may be tone where there was sweetness. You might feel far away where you used to feel close. That's because light makes things less effective. Do not accuse someone in response. Respond by making an observation. Being quiet while heaven works is what makes you strong. Archangel Michael is setting you up to see patterns come together on their own. When pressure builds, people show who they are, and divine light puts pressure on agendas that aren't obvious. You don't need to question anyone. Just stay firmly on the ground. The truth will get sorted out on its own. But watch what you think. At the same time, the mind can try to play back old conversations and get angry over them. Don't let that spiral happen. We're not going to play back the past. This is about getting ready for the future. Everything you did taught you something, even this one. There is also restoration coming up. When misalignment goes away, peace comes in. As confusion goes away, clarity grows. When stress goes away, creativity comes back. You might start to have new thoughts, make new plans, and feel a strong desire to make your living space better. These are signs that things are getting better. Archangel Michael does more than just fight. He keeps areas safe. Your home is being kept safe. You might want to move the furniture around, clean the space thoroughly, open the windows, and give it a new look. Do what your gut tells you. A lot of the time, physical actions reflect spiritual changes. Environments change when energy changes. The emergency window we talked about earlier was a sign of both urgency and chance. You had the chance to find out about what was going on before it happened. A lot of people don't wake up until there is a fight. You got up before it did. That's kindness. Soon there will be a clear moment that can't be denied. It won't be dramatic in the way that movies make drama seem dramatic. It will be easy. It's very quiet. A sentence said, a truth that is known, a habit that has been done too many times, and you will feel peace instead of shock at that moment. That peace makes things clear. Michael the Archangel was there to protect, not destroy. He kept your fate from being put off for a long time. He kept your heart safe from getting deeper involved. He kept your house from being unstable for a long time. And before this phase ends, you need to remember something important. You were never helpless during this time. You were put in place, in a good place to learn, ready to make a decision, getting ready to grow. You are getting stronger in ways that weren't there before. You are no longer naive about how to trick people in subtle ways. You are no longer blind to changes in energy. You are no longer ignoring your gut feelings. Just seeing that growth makes the whole thing worth it. Keep an eye on how conversations get easier over the next few days. Notice how the tension goes down. Keep an eye on how your sleep changes. Pay attention to how your mind calms down. These are signs that things are getting back in line. Archangel Michael is still standing over your threshold, not because you are in danger, but because you need to cover up during transition. There needs to be a guardian at every doorway between seasons. Right now, you are crossing the street. Let the peace last for good. Allow clarity to sink in deeply. Use your judgment to guide you gently, because something that seemed like an emergency is now being used as proof. And a better, lighter, and stronger time is coming for your family. Braveheart, what you are about to do is not just the aftermath of being exposed. It shows how much power you have. As soon as there is less confusion, there is more authority. When hidden tension goes away, things get back to normal. This is where a lot of people get it wrong. When they think about divine intervention, they think that heaven only gets rid of problems, but it actually brings back leadership. You are being made spiritually in charge of your own space again. You put up with slight discomfort for too long because you didn't want to upset the peace. But real peace isn't just the lack of conflict. It's the truth being there. Because you were weak, you didn't do anything about what was going on. You answered because you were meant for more stability than what you were accepting. Your home was becoming out of balance. Not long enough to start a fight, but steady enough to make things difficult inside. You were carrying more emotional weight than you knew. You changed the way you spoke. You changed the words you used. You kept an eye on reactions. Heaven could see how tired you are. The emergency from heaven wasn't just about showing someone else how out of whack they were. It was about breaking the habit of keeping to yourself. You were slightly shrinking to stay comfortable. But for the next season, you need to grow. Tension that isn't obvious can't exist with expansion. The woman who was linked to this message was a test of limits. Not because she is bad or completely false, but because her presence made you stand up for yourself where you were still afraid to. She made you want to stay agreeable. She wanted to see how much pain you could take in silence. This part of the test is now over. The Archangel Michael is a person who sets limits. He doesn't have a lot of energy. It follows the rules. He watches over the lines. He makes things right. And now you are being punished in the same way. There will be a small but noticeable shift in the way you talk to people. You're going to be more direct, not rushed and not emotional, but very clear. And clarity pulls people in. It changes the dynamics right away. Manipulation is less effective when you stop explaining things too much. Control gets weaker when you stop being too accommodating. When you stop questioning your gut, lies fall away. The next step is about alignment through strength. Do not mistake being firm for being angry. They're not the same. Anger shows up. Things are firm. Depending on what happens next, you might see the woman make one last attempt to regain her power. To do this, they might use emotional appeals. It could come from a sense of guilt. It could happen through too much kindness. Show compassion, but don't give up clarity. There is still work for you to do. Even though Archangel Michael is watching over your home, it makes it stronger. You are in charge of keeping the new standard. There is also something more important going on below the surface. Your confidence is growing again, but this time it doesn't feel loud or airy. You are no longer looking for proof to back up what you feel. You trust your own judgment without needing approval from other people. That change is strong because once you spiritually trust yourself, outside chaos can't easily throw you off balance. The energy in your home is stabilizing. It's getting easier to have conversations. The level of emotion is going down. There is now space where there used to be quiet tension, room to grow. There is room for new chances. There is room for peace. Archangel Michael doesn't just fight battles that people can see. He strengthens foundations that can't be seen. Your base is also being strengthened right now. There's a reason why this message seemed important right away. This misalignment could have had a big effect on big decisions if it had gone on quietly for more months. It might have slowed down progress in the economy. It might have messed up important relationships. It might have made it harder for you to concentrate at crucial times. The delay has been caught, though. You are now aware and steady as you walk into your next season instead of being distracted. You might even start to be thankful for the clarity. Not thanks for being uncomfortable, but thanks for being exposed. Because being exposed keeps time safe, and time is one of the most valuable things you have. You'll sleep better. Your ideas will start to make sense. You will feel like you have more energy. These are not just random events. These are signs that the alignment has been fixed. Stay calm and keep observing. Keep your speech clear. Keep keeping your boundaries clear in a firm but gentle way. There's no need for grand endings. Quiet changes can be the most powerful ending. Sometimes when a season ends, some people drift off on their own. Truth can sometimes separate people without arguing. Let it happen on its own. The Archangel Michael stays close not as a sign of war but as a sign of safe peace as this chapter comes to a close. Remember this truth. You were never meant to keep stress in your home. There was a clear place for you to live. That clarity is no longer on the way. It has arrived. Pay close attention because what's happening now goes beyond defense and into promotion. It's not often that heaven just clears away trouble to make people feel better. It's to get rise ready. A normal area is not watched over by Archangel Michael. He watches over land that has meaning. Your mind, your home, and the places you go every day are all linked to something growing. The tension that used to hang around your space was more than just feeling bad. It was resistance that stopped you from moving forward. Resistance often shows up as stress in a relationship. But fear of your growth is what's really going on. Not necessarily conscious fear from other people, but feeling uncomfortable when someone starts to rise. You've been getting up. Your way of thinking has grown up. You are more spiritually aware now. You're more patient now. Along with growth comes a change in how well they get along. Not everyone can help you get to the next level of clarity. Some connections were made for a different version of you in the past. This is why Archangel Michael stepped in at that exact moment. Time is important. If you were exposed too soon, you might have had a bad reaction. It could have caused more delay if it had come too late. But it happened when you were ready and when your destiny came together. Now pay attention to what starts to show up in front of you. Chances that seem blocked may suddenly appear. Talks that were stuck may now move forward. Ideas that didn't seem sure could become structured. Flow starts again when interference goes away. Do not undervalue the connection between how you feel and how fast your life is moving. A house with a lot of low-level tension makes people less creative. A mind full of unspoken stress can't fully focus on vision. Archangel Michael didn't just keep you from feeling pain. He made it possible for you to move around again. Next, you need to watch this. Lack of effort. When you feel better, you might want to loosen up on your rules. Don't do that. The clarity you gain needs to stay with you. Discernment is not a short-term tool. It's an upgrade that will last. You will no longer put up with things you used to. Not with anger or a sense of being better than others, but with quiet comfort. The woman who was linked to this message may now feel like she is farther away from you. She might notice that your energy isn't as easy to change. She might try having quiet conversations to get emotional access again. Be nice. Please be polite, but keep your balance. There is no longer any talk of peace. The presence of Archangel Michael stands for strong discipline. Breakthroughs stay possible because of discipline. When you don't stick to a routine, clarity fades and old habits come back. Transformation becomes stable with discipline. You are getting stable. You might feel a strong urge to organize parts of your life outside of your home in the next few days. Plans for money, ideas for careers, and personal targets. That surge isn't just a random idea. It has freed up space. Energy that was stuck in tension can now be used to move things forward. Take care of it. Another important thing is this. You might want to be more honest with people, not just at home, but in other parts of your life, too. That urge is part of how you market yourself. Voice gets stronger when interference goes away. If this message backs up something you've been feeling, take a moment to connect with it. Like this video so that more people in the same situation can get help before things get even more confusing. Tell someone who has been feeling tense in their environment that you sent this. Write about the change you've seen in your own space. Join this community of people who value spiritual awareness and discernment by subscribing. Pay close attention because what's coming next will link this whole thing to a bigger cycle in your life. You'll start to understand that this wasn't a one-time thing. The pattern that it was part of has now been broken. Patterns are very strong. It's not conscious that they affect decisions. You may notice that similar people have shown up at different times in your life. Same dynamics, same emotional changes, and same over-accommodation from you. This loop is now over. Michael the Archangel did more than just watch over your home. He stopped a behavior pattern that had been going on for a long time or in a generation. You are no longer putting yourself in situations where you need to shrink to keep the peace. When you start a relationship, it's important that everything is clear from the start. Everything changes with a shift. Not only will you feel lighter because one tension is gone, but also because a pattern is gone. And when patterns are broken, fate moves faster. Keep looking around. Keep making your boundaries stronger. Keep actively working for peace. If you don't want to miss the emergency from heaven, don't let old habits creep back in quietly. It had to do with getting to the next level of who you are becoming. You're also closer to that level than you think. As you become more awake, you can start to see how everything fit together in what seemed like an emergency. This was not at random in any way. What seemed like stress in your home was really a reflection of a bigger change going on inside you. Michael the Archangel didn't just come to protect your physical world. He stepped in to let you know that your identity has changed. You're not the same person you were before this connection. In the beginning, you may have needed proof, company, or reassurance in ways that made you less rigid and more flexible. You were still getting to know your voice. You were still learning the difference between controlling your anger and keeping the peace. Certain personalities could work in your space without any problems because of that. But growth changes what works. As your discernment grows, you start to see things that you didn't see before. As your self-confidence grows, you start to notice when your energy is being gently moved in a different direction. And as you grow spiritually, light grows. And light always shows what it can't live with. Archangel Michael's job this season was to make sure you grew by facing what doesn't fit with your new growth. At some point during a change, you have to accept that you are no longer able to handle a certain situation. Not because you're better than other people, not just because they're wrong. However, your frequency has changed. You can't keep doing things the way you did them when you were a different person. This is growing up. And being mature means having courage. As this change goes on, you may notice that your conversations with this woman are getting less deep. It might be harder to keep the depth. An honest connection may feel tense. No, that is not a punishment. In that case, misalignment is showing itself naturally. Do not try to push people closer when clarity has already made room for them to move away. The emergency from heaven woke you up. And now you're moving on to stabilization. When you're stabilized, you no longer need outside confirmation to believe what you sense. You believe in your inner compass. Archangel Michael stands for absolute certainty. He doesn't question what God tells him. Along the same lines, you are learning to trust your gut when it is calm and clear. This will help you see things more clearly in other parts of your life. You might find yourself thinking about old relationships, habits, or even work situations, not with doubt, but with knowledge. Does this fit with who I am becoming? Is a powerful question to ask yourself. Because as soon as you ask it honestly, everything around you gets better. Under the surface, there is also healing going on. Even if you don't notice it, small emotional wounds are healing. Now you feel safe in the parts of you that used to be afraid of conflict. The part of you that used to stretch too far to keep the peace is now learning how to balance. Archangel Michael didn't just point out someone else's misalignment. He made your emotional structure stronger. You could think about times when you had doubts about yourself. There were times when you knew something wasn't right but didn't act on it. Don't be hard on yourself during those times. They were a part of how you learned. Discernment grows as you gain experience. Now you can see things more clearly than ever. Even if nothing major happens outside, the air in your home will continue to feel cleaner as the days go by. You will feel more stable on the inside. There will be less fragility in the peace. It will feel stable. That calm peace is now your starting point. The woman who is linked to this message may slowly pull away, or the situation may change into something less powerful and more neutral. No matter what happens, the strong feelings that used to surround this connection will fade away. When it does, you'll realize how much energy you were putting in without realizing it. There is value in energy. Your momentum depends on where you put your money. Archangel Michael stepped in to make sure you didn't lose your energy during a time when you need to concentrate. There are chances ahead that need to be understood clearly. There are decisions coming up that need sharp intuition. There are doors about to open that you can't go through while your attention is split. This was getting ready. And now for something very important. Do not let sadness pull you backward. When things change, the mind tends to remember only the good times. That selective memory can make things hard to understand. That being said, clarity must always be stronger than nostalgia. There is no loss of connection. You are getting more aligned. You are stepping through the emergency window that opened earlier, which has now turned into a doorway. Not pushed, not forced, but ready. Archangel Michael is still a sign of God's protection beyond your threshold. You honor that protection every time you choose clarity over comfort. You will feel more stable in the coming season than you have in a long time. More freedom with your emotions. More faith in the choices you make. It wasn't about a fight. It had to do with confirmation. More proof that you've grown. Proof that the peace in your home is worthy. Proof that the next part of your story needs stricter rules. Know this as you stand in this new awareness. There is no longer any hidden tension making you act out. As you walk forward, you are choosing to be strong. You have crossed an invisible line, brave soul. It's now clear what was once hard to understand. What used to feel heavy is now easy to handle. And what felt urgent before now makes sense. This is the sign that God has finished a season. Michael the Archangel doesn't stay in battle mode after the battle is over. He goes from being a defender to an overseer, making sure that what was fixed stays safe. What started out as a warning has now turned out to be a divine reset. You might feel like something has changed. When you look around your home, it feels like the air is lighter. The silence is calm instead of tense. There is less stuff in your mind. That's not making up stories. That's the alignment getting more stable. A lot of people make a small mistake here. When peace comes back, they forget the lesson that made it possible. Don't forget. Don't forget the signs. Do not forget the patterns. Remember how your body responded before your mind did. Now that memory is smart. The presence of Archangel Michael in this message stands for constant watchfulness. Not paranoia or fear, but awareness. Having guards around you and being grounded are two different things. You're not being told to think that everyone is guilty. You are being asked to spot misalignment early on before it gets too deep. The woman who was linked to this chapter has done what she was supposed to do in your life. The emotional power she used to have in your space has been taken away. Whether she stays away changes dynamics or fades away completely. And that breaking apart sets you free. Freedom isn't loud. It is not overt. It's like breathing without any stress. Being able to speak without practicing feels like that. It's nice to rest without thinking too much about the conversations we'll have tomorrow. That's where you're going. There is also restoration going on in places that aren't related to this situation. You might be able to concentrate better on your work. Better understanding of how to plan finances. Getting excited about personal goals again. When stress and anxiety go away, creativity comes back. Vision gets better when hidden strain goes away. Archangel Michael's help was never limited to just one relationship. It was about making your path completely clear. You are about to enter a time when your home truly becomes a safe place. A spot where thoughts grow. Peace that builds up instead of breaks down in this place. A place that gives you energy instead of taking it away. And this is the deeper truth. It wasn't just about how someone else behaved. It had to do with your agreement with a hint of discomfort. It's no longer something you agree with. That change inside is the real breakthrough. You might feel a quiet confidence growing that even you doesn't expect. It will feel easier to make choices. It will feel natural to set limits. It will feel like direct communication. The Archangel Michael was watching over this adult. Watch how quickly you can spot misalignment in other parts of your life. Over the next few weeks, you'll no longer ignore warning signs. You will no longer find a reason for your pain. You'll answer quickly and calmly. The emergency from heaven has now turned into a declaration over your family as it grows. You set the bar for stability. And when things are stable, they speed up. There are doors about to open that need you to be emotionally stable. Partnerships that need to be clear from the start. Chances that require you to concentrate without being distracted. Through this experience, you've been ready for them. Take a moment to think about how far you've come in a short time. What seemed overwhelming at first now seems like a lesson. What seemed dangerous before now seems like it has a purpose from a divine point of view. People often think of strength and protection when they hear the name Archangel Michael. But his real job is to keep divine order, and divine order has now been set up in your space. As this truth sinks into your heart, act with faith. If you get this alignment, type "My home is sealed in peace" in the comments. The blessing code 808 is now being sent to your home for the next season. As this chapter comes to a close, keep in mind that what you went through is part of a bigger movement. Some people feel tension in their homes, but don't know what it means. You're one of them. There is no longer an emergency. Your order is back and you're stronger than you were before. Anchored spirit. Now that more peace has come into your home, something even more important is starting to happen. The story doesn't end with restoration. It's what makes growth possible. The Archangel Michael doesn't protect land just so you can stay comfortable. He protects land so that you can build. The calm you're feeling is your body getting ready for responsibility. When tension was high in the room, you spent a lot of energy controlling your feelings, picking up on subtle cues, and changing how you responded. Now that the distraction is gone, you may feel a strange stillness. At first, being still can feel almost strange because you're used to feeling a lot of stress. Never think that this quiet is empty, though. It's getting ready. Instead of a battlefield, your home is turning into a command center. This change affects how you plan, speak, and think. You'll feel like your thoughts are more planned out. You'll start to think about long-term choices with clarity instead of doubt. Some ideas that seemed risky at first may now seem like they could work. You may now feel comfortable having conversations that used to scare you. That isn't a mistake. That is lining up. Michael being with you on your journey is a sign of courage. When God tells you to be brave, it's not loud to show courage. It is a quiet faith. And you're acting on that conviction. You also needed to know the truth about cycles. The pattern that was broken in your house wasn't just one case. It was part of a larger pattern of putting up with misalignment in order to feel better for a short time. That pattern is over now. But when a cycle ends, life tests the new limit. Soon you might run into something outside of your home that reminds you of the old situation. It might show up in a conversation at work. It could come up in a friendship. It could come up in a quiet negotiation. You will have a choice at that point. Will you get smaller like before, or are you going to stay where you are? This isn't a threat. It's a chance to show that you have grown. This is exactly why Archangel Michael's earlier help made you stronger. The emergency from heaven helped you learn how to be smart. That discernment will now be used right now. You will know right away when the test comes up. It will be felt in your body. It will be clear to you from your gut, but you won't doubt yourself like you did before. You'll keep calm and talk about it. You will set clear goals early on. And because you act quickly, the problem won't get worse. Yes, that is mastery. As you move from reacting to life, you become more proactive. The woman who was connected to what happened earlier helped you become more aware. That's the end of that role. You don't need to hold on to anger. Let it go all the way. Gratitude, even quiet gratitude, is a great way to end a chapter. Peace that is kept by being thankful is stronger than peace that is kept by avoiding things. It's also time for your personal vision to grow. You might want to change your schedule, start a new project, or think about an idea again that you put off. These urges are telling you that your energy is no longer split up. When everyone works together, progress is faster. Archangel Michael doesn't break when he's under pressure. The building process can begin now that the foundation has been strengthened. It's what gives you confidence and helps you see the way ahead, making your home feel like a reflection of your high self. You might notice that now people talk to you differently. Your voice sounds more sure of itself. Your posture makes you feel more stable. Even the way you're quiet has weight. There is a small but strong change. When internal authority rises, the external dynamics change on their own. Keep taking care of your space on purpose. Say peace over your house. Keep the lines of communication open. Set limits in a way that is gentle but firm. These habits help keep what was fixed. The emergency window that opened at the start of this trip was a divine interruption. But disruption always comes before new ideas. You were stopped so that your path could be changed to go in a better direction. As of now, you stand in that place. There's no need to hurry. There is no more imminent danger to be afraid of. There is only moving forward. Michael the Archangel goes from being an active protector to a silent guardian in this scene. Protection stays, but the sense of urgency goes away. We've learned our lesson. The air has been made cleaner. It's no longer the same. Growth is what's left. And growth will need people to keep being aware. Not a worry, not stress, just being aware. You don't have to wonder what's hidden as you walk through your house anymore. As you walk through it, you know that clarity is in charge. It's power to know that. When you have power, you need to take care of what you've gained. It wasn't the end of something when aid came from heaven. It marked the start of your growth as a person. And you're just now stepping into it. Be strong because the change you've been through is now becoming your identity. What began as an emergency is now proof. Proof that you are being led. Proof that your safety is guaranteed. Proof of your ability to grow beyond what scared you in the past. Archangel Michael didn't just step in to change your situation. He stepped in to show you who you are. When clarity takes the place of confusion. Now you're going to focus on what's inside you instead of what was around you. Your voice sounds more steady now. A new level of patience in how you react. A new firmness in the lines you draw. These feelings won't go away soon. They are improvements to the structure. When heaven fixes a pattern, it makes the person who went through it stronger. You're stronger now than a few weeks ago. That strength is about to be put to the test in small but important ways. As you get more stable, you may notice that some people react with admiration and others with distance. Do not let either response bother you. As a person grows, their relationships naturally change. Some people feel safer when they're near clarity. Some people feel exposed by it. Your change or Michael stands for divine order. And divine order doesn't bend to keep things in harmony. It stays put so that real harmony can grow. The talks about your standards are over. For this next step, you will need to be consistent. When the tension is still fresh in your mind, it is easy to set limits. When things are calm again, it's harder. But this is where being disciplined is important. Discipline is not being mean. It's alignment that stays the same over time. Pay attention to the things you do every day. For things to be stable at home, habits must also be stable. Get your time in order. Keep your focus safe. Limit conversations that make things less clear. Say what you mean. Take time to rest. Move with purpose. The emergency showed you how quickly things can go wrong if you don't fix them. Now you use that awareness early on before a little pain turns into a big strain. This growth comes with a calling as well. When someone is protected by God and learns from it, they are often in a position to help others. People may start to tell you more private things. They might ask your opinion on the stress in their own home. They might come to you for help in situations like the ones you overcame. Don't brush this off. It's part of your growth. Archangel Michael wasn't just there to help you on your journey. It was getting ready to have an effect. Influence doesn't always mean being seen by a lot of people. At times, it means becoming a stable person in your circle. Additionally, as your influence grows, so does your duty to stay grounded. If this message has been leading you step by step through your own change, give it your full attention. Share this video so that other people who are going through silent tension can get some help before things get worse. Tell someone who needs to know that protection is still working in ways that can't be seen. Write about the change you've seen in your home and in yourself. Sign up to receive messages that help you make smart decisions. Pay close attention because what comes next will connect your personal breakthrough to a bigger spiritual rhythm that is happening all around you. You're not the only one going through this season of opening up and lining up. A lot of people are having similar awakenings. It's like a wave of clarity is going through homes and breaking up small patterns that used to seem normal. That wave has you in it. Some people feel like time is moving faster. Things are said quickly. Decisions are made quickly. The truth comes to light right away. Emotional maturity is needed for this speeding up. It's something you were ready for. You learn not to freak out when hidden things come to light thanks to Archangel Michael's help. It taught you to pay attention, stay calm, and let the truth show itself. With those skills, you'll be ready for new opportunities. You may soon have to make a choice that will affect where you live, your career, or your plans for the future. You will move with confidence where you used to be afraid to because you didn't want to upset those who were comfortable. That's proof of growth. Keep keeping an eye on your environment in a firm but gentle way. Keep picking clarity over ease of use. Keep building up your inner authority. The emergency set things in motion. The exposure was meant to fix something. Peace is a gift. But the real victory is the identity that is growing inside you. No longer are you someone who puts up with quiet instability. You are the kind of person who sees it early and deals with it wisely. That knowledge will also open doors that you thought were out of reach before. Pay close attention because the last part of this message will show you how this whole journey has been preparing you for something bigger than you thought. Mind, soul, right now you are on the edge of revelation. Everything that happened in your house was not a one-time fix. It was time for assignment alignment. Archangel Michael doesn't just show up to ease people's stress. He steps in to strengthen the goal. And having a purpose always needs a solid base. You don't feel normal calm when you feel stable like this. It's peace for the long term. When you have strategic peace, you stop reacting to life. You are in charge of it. The emotional atmosphere of other people is no longer affecting you. You're making the mood. This change may seem small, but it will affect the choices you make in the future. Something important is about to happen in your life. It could mean moving, growing, making a new partnership, or getting a chance to lead. It takes a clear mind and a steady heart, no matter what form it takes. If you hadn't dealt with the hidden tension in your home, you would have gone into that chance split up and unfocused. But now you understand Archangel Michael's help was a practice run for taking responsibility. The kind of responsibility that requires emotional maturity. Responsibility that requires smart. Taking on responsibility that requires bravery without being mean. All three of them have grown. Think about the person you were before this message came to you. Feeling uncomfortable but not sure if it was real. You saw patterns but didn't want to say what they were. You felt tension but you changed how you were instead of dealing with it on the inside. You have changed into a better person. You now believe what you feel. Trust is the key to your next season. You might start to feel drawn to make choices that used to scare you. Talks you used to avoid may now seem necessary. You may now feel comfortable setting boundaries that you used to be afraid of. This is not being impulsive. It's getting ready. Someone is about to cross a threshold when Archangel Michael stands guard over it. You are moving from being passively aware to being in charge of your own life. To be a leader, you don't have to control other people. It means taking good care of your space. It means picking whose power to use. To know when to speak up and when to be quiet is what it means. It means realizing that peace is kept by being clear, not by avoiding things. Never forget that each season has something to teach you. A time of low-level tension taught you to be alert. You learned to be calm during the season of exposure. You learned to be thankful during the season of restoration. You are now in the season of growth. Vision is needed for expansion. Allow yourself to picture what your life would be like if there were no hidden stress. Imagine relationships that are based on being honest from the start. Imagine a place at home that encourages growth and creativity. Imagine making choices based on trust instead of fear. This is not a dream, it's a direction. There is a spiritual principle at work here as well. When God steps in to protect us in small situations, it's usually because bigger problems are coming up. The minor is fixed by heaven so that the major can flow smoothly. The emergency that seemed so serious at the time was actually just mercy ahead of time. You did not have to wait for a long time. You were spared a deeper tangle. Feeling emotionally drained could have made it hard for you to make good decisions in the future. The presence of Archangel Michael is a sign that you are not going through life by yourself. Guidance works even when it's not seen. Protection moves even when no one sees it. And clarity comes when the times are right. Everything will come together in the last part of this message. It'll show why the sense of urgency was emphasized so much at the start. It will explain why your name was said to be spoken in a realm that can't be seen. It will also prove that what seemed like an interruption was actually God's way of placing things. Before that last big reveal, take a moment to recognize how much you've grown. Accept that you did not react without thinking. Recognize that you were patient as you watched. Recognize that you picked order over chaos. These decisions make you who you are. Of course, character determines ability. You're ready for the next step. There is no longer any danger to the peace in your home. It is held down. You will always feel good about your voice. It has been proven. The discernment in your spirit is not based on tests. It's better now. Archangel Michael is no longer a warrior in battle. Instead, he stands as a guardian over change. You are fully aware of the change you are making as you move forward. The next words you hear will help you fully understand this journey. Dear one, the circle is now closed. It was never about fear from the first moment you heard the urgent call and felt that sudden weight in your spirit as if heaven itself had broken up your routine. It was about the details. It was about how God was paying attention to you at a certain point in your life. There was no poetic language used when it was said that Archangel Michael was speaking your name. It was a spiritual sign for choice. According to scripture and tradition, calling out a name in the spirit world means assigning someone. It means that heaven has noticed a turning point. You were in the middle of a change. It wasn't just pain that the hidden tension in your home caused. It told you that the place you were in couldn't stay the same while you moved on to the next thing. Heaven stepped in early because your next season has weight, responsibility, influence, and growth. The need was for mercy. If the quiet misalignment, emotional strain, and subtle manipulation had gone on without being stopped, it would have slowly changed the choices you made. It would have made you less sure of yourself. It would have changed the way you were thinking. You might have lost valuable time by the time you realized it, but that didn't happen because safety came first. Archangel Michael stands for God's protection over fate. Not defense that comes from fear, but defense that comes from power. When your name was called out, it meant that your future was being watched over before problems got worse. Now look at where you are. It feels lighter in your house. You can think straight. You feel more sure of your limits. Your voice sounds better. That isn't a mistake. That's the alignment back in place. It was framed as something that would go away since windows of awareness are moments. You can either move toward the open window or close it. You took a step toward it. That's right. You thought you got bigger. Many people don't pay attention to divine nudges until something bad happens. You didn't. It was during the whisper stage that you replied, "That's smart." You are now in a different place. No longer are you someone who puts up with quiet instability. You are someone who sees it right away. You are no longer someone who shrinks to keep things calm on the surface. You are someone who brings about real peace. You no longer have doubts about your gut feelings. You believe it. That is the real miracle of this whole trip. And now comes the last revelation. This was getting ready for the climb. There is a door ahead that needs you to be emotionally mature. There will be a connection that needs healthy boundaries. There is a responsibility ahead that needs careful thought. That door would not have been safe to open if your foundation had stayed unstable. It can now. This is what it means that Archangel Michael is guarding you over your threshold. What comes into your life next needs to help you grow. Things that don't fit will be thrown away. And hidden forces will never stop what is meant for you again. The emergency has turned into a chance to grow. The exposure has turned into knowledge. The protection has turned into advertising. Tonight, stand in your home and notice the difference. Feel the peace as you walk through your rooms. Be sure when you talk over your space. Fear doesn't keep you safe. You are safe because of clarity. Type I walk in divine alignment in the comments if you get this last confirmation. The blessing code 1212 is now over your home, your choices, and your next chapter. Also, as this message ends, know that something holy has been sealed. Heaven doesn't just send out an emergency alert for one person. It's for every family on the verge of making a breakthrough. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-fi community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself. Jesus says, this is not history. It is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is a divine appointment meant specifically for you. You are being invited into a protected faith-filled community at the link in the description and pinned comment. A place where divine abundance is not just a hope but a promise built on the Word. By heading to the site right now, you are unlocking access to a sacred community of like-minded believers. When you join our membership tiers, you gain immediate entry to powerful content, daily devotions, and divine insights that are hidden from the world. This is your chance to enter a sanctuary where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support on our prayer wall, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join our inner circle through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the personalized messages and spiritual warfare tools meant to elevate your life. If you feel called to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. For those who want to amplify this work and carry the light home, you can find our guided ebooks and Bibles in the pinned comment. Whether you join as a member or sow a seed through our resources, your presence and energy change the world. Take the step. Your abundance awaits. You are about to enter your divine future. But remember, this breakthrough is not for you alone. Your testimony is the bridge someone else will use to reach their own miracle. Archangel Michael is inviting you to visit community through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. By joining our like-minded community, you are no longer praying in isolation. You are adding your voice to a global sanctuary where we discuss the Word daily and stand in the gap for one another. This is not poetry. When Jesus says, "Give, and heaven will open over you." On this platform, every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and a hedge of safety for your family. Now is your time. Step into our community prayer wall. Share your heart, and as you give, watch God multiply what you let go of. Let's finish this journey together. Visit our community now. Join the family and see your heavens open.